Hi, I'm going to show the array.reduce method and how it can be used for a lot more than reducing an array to a number. The array.reduce method takes two parameters, a callback function and an initial value, and it returns a single value as a result. The callback function is called for each element in the array. Callback receives four parameters, an accumulator which starts off as our initial value, and after it becomes the return value from the previous callback function. It also receives each array value in turn, the index of that array value, and a reference to the original array. If we run this code, we get 0 because our callback function returns the initial value unchanged. To calculate the sum of array values, our callback function returns the accumulator plus the current array value. If we run that, we get 9. To see what's going on, we'll log out some values. First, the accumulator, the array value, the index, and the original array. Running that code logs out an object and an array reference for each number in our array. First callback. The accumulator starts as 0, our initial value. The value is 4, the first number from our array at index 0. We return accumulator plus value 0 plus 4. Next time we hit our callback, the accumulator is now 4, the return result from the previous callback. Value is 2, the second number from our array at index 1. We return accumulator plus value, 4 plus 2. Next callback, accumulator is 6, the previous return result. Value is 1, index 2 in our array. We return 6 plus 1. Final callback, accumulator is now 7, our previous callback result. Value 2, index 3. We return 7 plus 2. We're now at the end of our source array, so the reduce method returns this result to our res variable and we get 9. The real power of reduce comes when you realise that the initial value and the result can be any JavaScript type. Instead of a number, they could be an array or an object. As an example, let's return an object where the keys are the values from our array along with a count of how many times those values exist. We set our initial value to empty object. We don't need these parameters. Now, if our accumulator contains the value, then we add 1. Otherwise, we set that value in the object to 1. And all we return is the accumulator. If we run that, we get an object with a count of each value in our array. Let's try reducing an array to a different array. We set our initial value to an empty array. In our callback function, first we push the array value into our new array. Then we push in the negative of that value. If we run that, we see an example of reduce being used to expand an array. As a final example, I'll show how array.reduce can be used to calculate the minimum and the maximum of the values in the array. First, we set our initial value to an object with two properties, min, which we default to number.maxValue, and max, which we default to number.minValue. Next, we change our callback function to return an object with the same properties, min, which we set to math.min of the accumulator.min and value, and a max property, which we set to math.max of accumulator.max and value. If we run that, we get the min and the max values from the array.